it's your soul sister, Katrina, and welcome to the Truer podcast. I want to tell you something. I haven't always been this intuitive. I didn't just know how to walk a spiritual path or read energy. My soul led me here through a series of pretty intense personal trials. If you're struggling with your current life situation, or if you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck or unsure of your next step, then we need to talk about soul curriculum. Because when you let frustration blind you to the lesson, you start to feel hopeless. And when that happens, you disconnect from the potential of your truest life, the potential that your soul came here to live. You might be like I once was, burnt out in a career that drained me, dealing with physical symptoms that I didn't understand, and eventually breaking down completely, mentally and emotionally. Living a life in this way is not just draining you, it's actually keeping you blind to your fullest, most vibrant life. And here's what I want you to know. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't need to keep numbing your way through the days. You can remember your power. And it starts with a few soul-aligned shifts that actually work because they've worked for people like me and you. In today's episode, I'll be sharing intuitive messages about your soul curriculum and a powerful practice to embody your inner hero or heroine. And if you're ready to go deeper with me, I would love to invite you to attend my upcoming free event, Truer. It's a soul deep immersion into your truer life, and it has a new date. Truer is being held from May 25th to 31st. There will be 3 live calls and multiple days of content, and it's taking place inside the Becoming True membership. You can find more info in the link in the show notes. All right, let's dive into the episode. Welcome to the Truer podcast. My intention is to hold a sacred space for you so that you can really feel connected to your true self. It's the Truer podcast, meaning my aim is to help you come to a place of truer, authentic self. This is an interactive podcast. There is video, so if you're listening to this purely on audio, just know that there is a video element to this. And it's not necessary, but it kind of gives you more of the vibe. I've got my candles burning, I've got my cushions, my cozy blanket and my sweater, my plant. I've just got the whole vibe going. So if you're interested in watching the video, I do invite you to do that. And it's interactive, so there's going to be some times throughout the podcast where I'll ask you to connect with your heart and reflect. And there's a guided practice involved in this too. And before we really get into the topic for today, I invite you to take a pause. I know when you're listening to podcasts, you're often like busy doing something, but I do invite you to just pause for a moment, put your hands on your heart if you can. And if you can't, just bring your awareness into your heart space. And I invite you to drop out of your mental energy and into your being energy, your heart energy. So we're just going to breathe into the heart space together. And release slowly. We're anchoring into the heart space out of our mental energy, breathing in and out. This is like medicine for your body, mind, and spirit. Let's just do one more deep breath in. Slow breath out. Anchoring into your heart so you can be in this mode of receptivity to what is going to be being shared in this podcast, what is going to be activated within you in this podcast, allowing your true self to rise up within you. The topic for today's podcast is about your soul curriculum, which I have a lot of experience
advising people on, helping people with, because I have been a psychic reader. I've been reading the Akashic records for my clients for multiple years now. And there's always this theme of the soul curriculum, the soul plan, the soul contract, whatever you want to, words you want to use. It's basically the idea that you're here to learn certain lessons, right? You sign up for a course, and in that course, there's multiple lessons you're meant to learn. So this idea came to me. I really like the title of this is actually, I should say, this is inspired by a card deck from a card out of the card deck from Rebecca Campbell. I think it's the Work Your Light Oracle deck. And there's a card that says, it's happening for you, not to you. So I want to talk about this idea with you, and I want to go deeper and bring a greater level of awareness and understanding for yourself and to connect you to your true self, right? Their true self wants to be heard, wants to be seen, and that's what we're going to do today. And if you're interested in this topic or any of the topics that we'll be talking about throughout this podcast, I invite you to join my new platform, Becoming True. Becoming True is a platform I created for curious souls, spiritually curious souls who are craving deeper fulfillment, genuine authenticity, and they just need a little bit of support or community or guidance. And I have so many beautiful resources there for you. There's some free resources, there's some paid resources. It all depends on what you're ready for. Okay, so I'll put the link in the show notes, and I invite you to check that out if this serves you. Okay, if you're on the video, you can see I have my notebook with me. Before I recorded this, I did an Akashic Records reading about this topic, about our soul curriculum. It's happening for you, not to you. And I got some messages that are meant for you. I just asked to be shown whatever guidance is most needed around this topic for the audience of this podcast. So if you're listening to this message is for you. And I'm going to get started now. So when I connected to this energy psychically, I was shown a vision. And if you don't know me, you might not realize I'm shown a lot of psychic information visually. So this includes a lot of symbolism. So it's almost like we have to interpret what is shown to us. So when I connected to the idea of our soul curriculum, it's happening for you, not to you, the visual I was shown at the very start was there was like a person at the bottom of this big ship, like stuck at the lowest level with a flashlight, and it was like dark, and they were like, how do I get out of here? For some reason I knew it was a ship. It reminded me of like old movies of like people working at the bottom of the ship, so it's like you're at the bottom and you work your way up. And the flashlight is like the only light. There's lots of darkness around, and there was a light there. And if you know about symbolism, the shadow, the dark represents our subconscious, which means it's just the part of ourselves that we don't consciously have awareness about. We don't consciously know the aspects of self that haven't come into our conscious awareness. And I'm going to be talking about that a lot in a different episode, but that's just a little bit of info. And with a flashlight is, the light usually represents our conscious awareness. So we're being guided to go through this journey, which is our soul curriculum. And I was really feeling this strongly, that you are the hero of your journey. Think about this. You are the hero. Think about all the movies you've seen, all the books you've read, all the stories you enjoyed as a kid. They all have a component of a hero going on a journey and coming to a place of triumph or resolution or success or awakening. right? So you are the hero of your journey, of your story. And keep that in mind because I'm looking at my notes and I'm laughing because I wrote down, imagine if every story began with the protagonist just like throwing a pity party and then like never going on their journey. Just like, nope, I'm just gonna stay the same. Nope, I don't want to go there. I don't want to explore that. It's out of my comfort zone. Like imagine if like I love Harry Potter. So imagine if Harry Potter's like, nope, that's scary. That's a big no for me. I'm not going to go through all of this journey to like, you know, spoiler alert, if you don't know Harry Potter, he's the hero. He saves a lot of people. And I feel like this is being shown to us because a lot of us, including me at times, are kind of trapped in that fear of like, oh, this is too scary. This journey that I'm being called to go on is too scary. I'd rather just be in my pity party because that is like my comfort zone in a way. So the soul curriculum is another word for all of the experiences that we've gone through in our life, all of the challenges we faced. We must see these as tasks that the hero must face. These are tasks that are challenging the hero in the journey to become more and more empowered, more and more their true self, more and more enlightened and strong, right? You don't become strong by sitting around in your comfort zone. I just am laughing at the visual of that, like, oh, I'm just sitting on my couch and wow, I feel really strong. Like that's just not how it works, even though that's how we want it to work. So, the wisdom here is that you must see these challenges as tasks on your journey and just know that the hero cannot become the hero unless they face these challenges. Like you can't become your most empowered self, your most authentic self, if you're not facing the challenges, aka the soul curriculum. So when we get to this phrase, it's happening for you, not to you, it's the opportunity to face, I shouldn't say it, just like the challenges in your life, whatever you're going through right now. I feel like this is really relevant to what you're going through right now. Because this was like really top of mind when I started planning this podcast. It was like, this is the one I have to do first. I know it. I know the audience who's ever going to be watching this or listening to this really needs this message right now. And I do too. I'm right there with you. So it's so important to understand and accept that your hero's journey is going to require courage and bravery so that you can rise up into your most authentic, most true, most empowered self. And it's good to see where you're at now as a point on a timeline. You've been through your previous trials and tribulations. If we're talking about the hero, there's always a descent into the underworld. I'm going to put that in quotes, underworld. And that just means, like we saw the visual at the start, the person at the bottom of the dark ship with a little flashlight and they're surrounded by darkness and they have to get their way out. I guess that's like a visual of being in the descent. It's like you're going through an inner journey through your underworld, which is just another word for your subconscious, your shadow, all of the parts of you that are ready to be faced and healed and integrated. And these are all points on the timeline. So you've already gone through multiple heroes' journeys. We can almost see this as like you've gone through multiple heroes' journeys, or like your whole arc of your life is a hero's journey, and like you've been through multiple points on that. And there's more to come. So there are going to be those moments of triumph, those moments of the pinnacle of like reaching your empowerment, your success, your joy, whatever that is for you. Those are coming, especially if you have the courage and bravery to continue on the hero's journey and not just stay in your pity party. I don't really like that word, pity party, but that's what was shown to me. because it's just a fear keeping us in our small selves. So if you think about your small self, it's like the most triggered, the most anxious, the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a little mouse hiding away, right? Like you're not brave to face the thing you're like curling up in a ball. And there are moments where we need that, right? We can't just be like pushing and pushing and pushing all the time in terms of like making progress in our life in any aspect. Like we always have to have moments of like reprieve, pause, reflection, integration, restoration, like rejuvenation, all of those words. So where are you at on your hero's journey? That would be a good question to ask. Actually, I'm gonna kind of get there in a moment, but just realize that you are on a journey and that you're not just like stuck in this place forever. Because when we're in the present moment, it's often we either fixate on the past or we fixate on the future. And where you're at right now is where you're supposed to be on your hero's journey. So just keep that in mind. It's happening for you, not to you. So imagine that, you know what? I have an inspiration to do this right now. Just take a moment and if you can, I know you might be busy listening while you're doing something, but if you can, take a moment to pause and close your eyes and just ask, what am I learning from this challenging experience that I'm going through? What is this teaching me? How might this be a gift? And if you want to pause and really dive into that, I invite you to. But if you can see this as a gift, the hero can't be the hero if they are staying in the same state of being, if they're not willing to grow, to expand, to stretch beyond their comfort zone, right? Oh, what's the phrase I've heard recently? Edgy. Like, oh, that's at my edge. Like, think about that your comfort zone is like literally like a box around you. And you're getting to the edge of that. Oh, that feels edgy. That doesn't feel good because it's like getting close to outside my comfort zone. But what's outside of your comfort zone is your empowerment, your inner strength, your joy, maybe even like the love of your life or the dream job or like physical things in your life, like maybe even that. In fact, I would say yes, that is true. Lots of beautiful things are waiting for you outside of that. So it's like edgy to flip your view of like whatever difficulty you're going through or challenge you're going through right now and say, oh, this is actually part of a big, larger journey. And I'm at the stage maybe where I'm descended down into my underworld, like that person at the bottom of a ship looking with the flashlight trying to find their way out. What am I going to be facing in this journey? And what do I need? How do I need to show up for myself to be the hero? And I don't want to use the word hero gendered, but there is also a heroine's journey. And if you're more embodied in feminine energy, you might associate with the heroine's journey, and that is slightly different because there's sort of different phases of the heroine's journey. Now, I was also shown like some guidance for this aspect of your life that you're going through. That phrase, where focus goes, energy flows, was really pointed out to me when I was tapping into this information. And I wonder if you're more focused on what's the hard part or like focused on self-pity, like, oh, why is this so hard, or whatever. Or are you focused on what do you want, what you do want, what outcome you are striving for, what outcome you would like? Because if you're focused on how bad it feels, that's where the energy is flowing, right? It's almost like amplifying that. You can acknowledge that and sit with that and say, this is hard. And you can offer yourself lots of gentleness, lots of love and compassion when you're going through a challenging descent or a challenging part of your journey. But that's good to a point. But if you're just like stewing in that or like swimming in that and like letting that be your whole energy field, like that's not going to help you. That's just going to make it harder. So keep that in mind. Where focus goes, energy flows. And that's so important to be aware of. I can share a little bit about that also. This whole journey I've been on the past few years, I've mentioned it in previous podcast episodes. I know that was a long time ago, but I've been on this big journey of becoming and unbecoming. And it's started out with a health crisis, and it's been like this chronic health issue I've been dealing with for quite some time now. And I'm still learning about that and understanding that on multiple levels. But this whole process of becoming true for me has been so scary. In fact, I have been called to create my brand Becoming True. And even just having a brand is like scary for me because I'm the face of the brand. It's a personal brand. I am here to educate, to support, to guide. And that means I have to put myself out there, and I have to do stuff like this, right? Like I'm filming, I'm recording myself, and I have so much fear. I'm going to be honest. This is like vulnerable to share. I don't want to pretend like I'm a grand master or a sage on a stage or anything like that. This is really scary for me to, I don't know. I think there's a lot of wounding, like witch wounding, feminine, repression wounding in my energy. And it's hard for me to even try to put myself out there to be the version of me that I know I'm meant to be in this lifetime. I know I have such a clear vision because I am super in touch with my intuition. I do have psychic abilities. I have been shown, I have seen like who I am meant to be in this lifetime. And my small self is like, no, 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 no. My small self is feeling so edgy. That edginess of like, like I'm out of my comfort zone, like striving and creating the things that I know I'm meant to create, birthing the things I know I'm meant to birth into the world. And as I'm sharing this, I wonder if this resonates with you in any way, because I think a lot of us are going through this process of becoming and awakening to maybe our purpose or who we truly are, awakening to our true self, awakening to the life that we're meant to live. And it's so overwhelming and scary. So I just want to share that with you because I know, and you have to honor that and try. So I'm going to have more in the Becoming True platform around this. There's lots of meditations that you can use, that you can do to help you with all of this, like, meditations to help you with anxiety, meditations to help you with trust, with surrendering, meditations to help you with like connect you with your highest self, all sorts of things. And if you're interested in all of that, I invite you to check out Becoming True, the new platform I've created. And there's a link in the show notes here. But we're not done yet. I want to guide you in a practice that I was shown when I was meditating in the Akashic records. I was shown this practice that I can help you with. And it reminds me, just like a visualizing practice. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it mental rehearsal, which I think is so funny because it's like technical way of saying visualization. But we have a mental rehearsal guided practice I'd love to guide you in. And if you're listening to this and you're doing something, that's fine. I still think it's valuable to just like hear this and like reflect on it while you're maybe doing something. And if you are not doing something, great. Then like really focus in and let's do this. And you can also do this more than once. So if you're busy right now, come back to this later and like do it again, like deeper. I recommend that. So let's put our hands on our heart for this guided practice. And just another time, another moment connecting to our heart space. Breathing in through your heart, filling your heart with beautiful life force energy. And releasing all that needs to go. Breathing in life force energy in through the heart space. And releasing all that needs to go. In your mind's eye, see yourself as the hero of your story. How does the hero or the heroine version of you look? You might see yourself wearing a cape like a superhero. You might see yourself standing in a certain posture, or you might not connect to the visual so much. You might just like sit up straighter, putting your shoulders back. How does this hero version of yourself look or feel? Really connecting to that version of you. And connecting to this energy, what does the hero self think or believe that leads them to their success, to their triumph? What does this hero think and believe about themselves, about the world? They might think, I can do this. I believe in myself. They might think, it's easy to receive. All that I need always comes. They might believe that they are supported by the universe, supported by the divine or by God, by their spirit guides or their divine team, their ancestors. They might feel and believe in that support from the unseen realms. Just really connecting to the thoughts and the beliefs that this hero version of you holds. The thoughts and beliefs that lead them to their triumph, to their peak. And then, if you can visualize and see, what do they do? Or how do they behave? This hero version of you. What do they do and how do they behave in order to get to that ideal outcome or that success at the end of the journey? See yourself doing those things, holding these beliefs and these thoughts that are empowering, that are expansive, maybe even magnetic. What does this hero version do, or how do they behave? Seeing this play out. Maybe you see yourself doing a certain routine that you know you've been meaning to do, or showing up in the world in a certain way with a certain energy of confidence, or really loving themselves, offering themselves so much love. Just allowing whatever this is for you to be rehearsed. Seeing it happen as if it's happening right now. And how does that feel to be that person, that hero, the empowered self, doing the things, believing the things, thinking the things that bring them to their success? How does it feel? It must feel so powerful, like you're shining your true light into the world. As I'm speaking, I can feel like buzzing and tingling in my limbs, my lower limbs, and my feet. I feel very grounded and secure. Just connecting to those feelings, those emotions of this hero self. And when you're ready, coming back to the here and now. Now, if you're interested in doing this type of practice even deeper, I do invite you to join or to check out Becoming True, my new platform. On there is a future self attunement, which is a little workshop it's like a workshop and a meditation and an energy healing. So that kind of brings you deeper into that type of process. So I do invite you to check that out if you're interested. And finally, I was guided to share with you how you can move forward from this. Like, you've listened to this or you've watched this, you've received this, almost like a little mini activation. And how can you go forward? How can you integrate this into your life? So I was shown whatever the situation is that is like the struggle, that is the root of this phrase, it's happening for you, not to you. Whatever that thing is in your life, it's really best to surrender it. Surrender it means releasing your grasping, releasing your attachment to the way it needs to be, like your sense of control, because your sense of control is actually an illusion. And I get trapped in this all the time. I have to be reminded of this over and over and over again, so I know you do too. It's just so much better to release and to like invite in whatever is for the highest good, right? So I have a resource to share with you here. One of my favorite spiritual authors is Tosha Silver, and she has this book, Change Me Prayers. I also really recommend her book, Outrageous Openness. It's honestly, it changed my life. But in this case, I have her book, Change Me Prayers. On page 240, there's a prayer. I don't like the word prayer because it's religious, but let's just call it like a mantra. And this is to help you feel wildly open to surrendering and to receiving whatever is for your highest good on your hero's journey. Okay, so I invite you to follow along as I say this, either saying this out loud or in your head. I'm going to read the prayer that's on page 240 of this book. Change me, divine beloved, into one who is wildly open to whatever needs to occur at this turning point. Let me trust where you guide my own heart. Let me know that perfect actions are shown at the right time. Fill me with patience and clarity, and let me be genuinely kind to myself and others. All is well. Change me into one who is wildly open and trusting of your plan, despite any current uncertainty. Let me trust that you know exactly where the heck you are guiding me, even if this is not currently apparent. So that prayer, and this book is full of them. There's so many beautiful ways you can flip your energy around this situation, whatever the situation is for you, instead of like trying to control it and like always feeling triggered or always feeling the anxiety of like going out of your comfort zone. Instead of focusing on that, remember where focus goes, energy flows. It's best to focus on this act of surrender, and that becomes magnetic. If you can surrender and truly feel that in your being, the depth of your being, you can become magnetic to what is for your highest good. I mean, it's like you're releasing the reins of trying to control this crazy situation that the universe already knows. The universe already knows the journey you're on. They already know all of the points on your journey, all of the potentials, all of the highest outcomes, but you don't, because you're a human and you're not supposed to know everything all at once. So just release your grasping, release your need to control, which only creates more suffering. I mean, think about all the anxiety people are suffering with. A lot of it has to do with like not knowing how things are going to be. And if you could just release that and be in that frequency of trust, it's so much more easeful and it's so much more magnetic to what is for your highest good. I really invite you to consider this. That is it for today. I do invite you once again to join me in Becoming True. It's this beautiful, beautiful platform that my soul has called me to create. It's not even my ego. My conscious awareness didn't even know I'd be doing this, but here I am. I'm on my own hero's journey, creating this for the highest good.
If you're ready to say yes to a truer life, then I invite you to join my free event, Truer. It's a soul deep immersion where you get to hone your intuition, allow your truth to rise, and reconnect with the clarity, purpose, and satisfaction that comes with aligning to your truer self. Link in the show notes. If this episode resonated with you, if it helped you access a deeper truth within yourself, then please share it with someone you love, because the world needs more of us living our truer lives. This has been a Truer Media production. The Truer podcast is created and produced by me, Katrina Slade. Music by Frequently Asked Music. Wordmark by Annika Samples of Incandescent Creative. Cover photography by Lucinda Richard. Time for the really short legal talk. This podcast is presented solely for educational purposes. I am your soul sister. I am a spiritual guide, but I am not a licensed physician, psychologist, or other qualified medical professional. I hope to see you again.